If you need any My Team grinds in any mode, hit up my boy Witty for safe, reliable, and the cheapest grinding services around. Hit him up on Twitter. You won't be disappointed. Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about my content predictions for this weekend's content here in NBA 2K25 My Team. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. So 2K, the past couple of weeks, has been doing an interesting job, a pretty good job, I think, actually, with Friday content. For all the things that I don't love about Season 5, of which there are a few, Friday content really hasn't been one of them. I think as a whole, it's been pretty good and pretty balanced. A lot of good budget cards coming out, which is also a huge W. And what's been interesting is they've been dropping exclusively current players as the amethysts, and like pretty darn good current players. Now, they're not like superstars in real life, but it's a lot of guys who are contributors in real life and are getting pretty good budget cards and stuff. So I assume that they'll probably keep that up, and we'll get 6 more amethysts tomorrow of like current role players. Now, who that could be, I have no idea. Like, for example, a name that pops into my mind is Christian Brown. He's a contributor on the Nuggets this year. He's had a pretty big role on a team that's very good, and just as a whole, like, for example, he's the type of name that seems really interesting to me. His Ruby was really good early this year as a level up reward, so that's a guy who would certainly be an interesting card to get, and we'll see if he winds up getting a card, but that would absolutely be an interesting one. And I'm sure there's a lot of other variety of guys that we could get as well. I mean, name a solid NBA role player who's got a role on a decent team, and that's a guy who could very easily get a card, is basically what we're looking at this point. And you know what? I really have no idea whether or not we'll get, I really have no idea who we'll get, basically, because there's so many different guys that we could potentially get. But I will say, for the diamonds, those have been very underwhelming this season. 2K has continued to drop hidden gem diamonds, and that looks like that will be the case again this season for sure. I would have to assume. I could be wrong, but realistically, I do think we'll continue getting hidden gem diamonds. And honestly, I mean, we're getting 3 hidden gem diamonds on Tuesdays and 3 hidden gem diamonds on Fridays. And we got like what, 3 more Tuesday drops, 3 more Friday drops this season. So that's 9 times 3 is 27. 27 of the 48 diamond hidden gems that are left should be coming out in Tuesday and Friday content over the rest of this season, which would leave us with 21 left. I don't know what they'll do with those in season 6, I guess, but if they continue doing it the way they have, I just hope we at least get the good diamonds. Bruce Bowen, Larry Nance, Joe Smith, kind of. Thurl Bailey, not really at this point, honestly. Ron Harper's just a tall defensive point guard, but he's not all that good. Tyson Chandler's good. How many of these other cards are actually good at this point? Like Sean Livingston would be good, except he has like a 63. And I don't think his stats and badges are that complete. Mo Bamba, if he was higher overall with better stats and badges, he'd be good, but as is, he's just not complete enough. Realistically, there's only a couple of really good diamonds left. Bruce Bowen and Larry Nance are the 2 best for sure. So hopefully we get at least one of those guys in the diamonds, and we'll see what happens with that. The pink diamonds are going to be non-hidden gems. There's only 9 pink diamond hidden gems left, and those are all going to come out on Tuesday drops, the next 3 Tuesday drops. So we're getting a non-hidden gem pink diamonds like we have the last couple weeks, and we've gotten some really good pink diamonds the last couple weeks. I mean, the week before last, Michael Cooper's really solid card. Tyrese Maxey had a duo with Joel Embiid. There's an interesting card. Rui Hachimura, pretty good. The rest of them, not so great, but not too shabby. And then this past weekend, again, Kobe White has that elite dynamic duo with Larry Markkinen. Denny Green and Doug Christie, 2 really, really good budget cards as well. We've been getting 5 pink diamonds a week, so I think we'll get 5 more pink diamonds tomorrow, and I would expect there will be at least 1 or 2 of them that will stand out as really good budget type cards. And again, there's just so many names that it could be for those that I don't really have specific predictions, but I am really just hoping again for high level budget cards. Like a really nice pink diamond, small forward, power forward, or power forward center would be really nice to see this week. Somebody with some size, maybe 6'9", 6'10", as small forward, power forward, or like a 7-foot power forward center who could space the floor with some shooting ability would be a nice card to get. I know Tyson Chandler has a hidden gem still out of the diamond hidden gem, so I don't think we'll get him, but I would love to see a pink diamond Tyson Chandler. That'd be a really good card. PJ Brown got a diamond card in what, season 2? That's a really good card. Or did he come out in season 3? I don't even remember where that card came out at this point. Actually, I think he was Knockdown Nights, wasn't he? Yeah, he was Knockdown Nights season 3. I'd like a PJ Brown card. He's really good, but the pink diamonds again could be really anybody. Now the opals this season have actually been pretty big names: Vlade Divac, D'Lo, Julius, Rudy Gay. Next week we get OG Anunoby, Drazen Petrovic, Rudy Gobert, Lauri Markkinen, all like good to great players at different points in their NBA careers. Couple of historic guys, couple of current guys. This was all current except for draws in this past week. The week before was historic with Vlade and Rudy. And then obviously, I mean, D'Lo and Randall are current players just like Lowry, but those guys are from their old teams. Now, names that come to mind for me for the Opal tier, I'm going to give you all a couple names. Number one, Michael Porter Jr. has not gotten a card since the end of season 1. He's a 6'10 small forward. He is a guy who would absolutely get a Galaxy Opal. He'd be higher than Pink Diamond. Just makes sense to me. A 6'10 absolute sniper with a good jump shot could be a really, really solid card depending on how much they soup his defense as well at 6'10". I'd be really interested in the Galaxy Opal. Michael Porter Jr., he's definitely a name who comes to mind. Another name who comes to mind for me is Dyson Daniels. Got a card at the end of season 2 in this NBA Storylines drop. Hasn't gotten one since. Has had an awesome year. He's probably the best guard defender in basketball right now. Leading the league in steals, and it's not close. Having a great year. And he's a 6'7 point guard with elite, of course, defense. And a really good jump shot. So a Dyson Daniels Opal would be amazing. That'd be like one of the best Opals in the game. Would be a card that I think a lot of people would use at a competitive level as like a Magic counter type card with a better jump shot. Obviously, he's not as big as Magic, and he wouldn't be as complete or as good of a slasher as Magic, but the jumper's better and the defense is exceptional, and he'd be a pretty solid slasher as well, like probably 85 or 90 driving dunk. You'd still be looking at a really good card considering this one had 80 on his diamond in season 2. So a Galaxy Opal Dyson Daniels, he's had an awesome year. Would love to see him get a card as well. Another guy who makes a lot of sense. And then if we're getting another point guard, I don't know if he's a guy who would be Galaxy Opal or Dark Matter at this point in the year, but Lonzo Ball feels like he could get a Galaxy Opal as well. Another card would be a really, really nice, like budget-ish point guard. If we get one of Dyson Daniels or Lonzo Ball as Galaxy Opals, I'd be very happy about that, because that's that elite level budget point guard that I think the game is kind of in need of right now. And another really good Opal point PG would be really nice. Somebody with some size and some defense with a good jump shot. And Dyson Daniels and Lonzo Ball would both fit the bill very, very well. I would love to see either one of those guys as Galaxy Opals. Now, moving on to Dark Matters, the number one player who I think is likely to get a Dark Matter card and maybe 100 overall as well. He definitely would make sense as 100 overall, but my guess for him is Dark Matter is Devin Booker. That's the guy right now who comes to mind for me as absolutely due for a card, makes sense as a Dark Matter. He hasn't had a card since his Pink Diamond in season 1. He could absolutely be 100 overall as well, but I'm really probably going to keep mentioning D-Book until he gets a card, just because he's so due for a card. It makes total sense at this point in the year for him to get a top tier option. And another guy who, like, yeah, I know he has an Opal, Dark Matter Kareem. Now, he could also be 100 overall, but he hasn't gotten a card since the end of season 3. 2K also gave some other guys who got cards in season 3, like MJ, Giannis, LeBron. They've all gotten new cards, Dark Matters. I mean, we got KD in season 4, and then he got a Dark Matter as well. Now, I know that was all-star content, to be fair, but Kareem would make a lot of sense to me. A guy who hasn't gotten a card in, what, a season and a half now, or 2 months basically past, more than 2 months past the last Kareem Abdul-Jabbar card. A Dark Matter Kareem would make a lot of sense as well, though again, that's another guy who could absolutely be 100 overall. It all depends. And then, I mean, a wing, again, the wings are like, I don't know. The guy who comes to mind for me, Dark Matter wing, Tim Thomas. He only has one card this year. It's a Pink Diamond, and it's not a good card. He came out in like the MT Festival for, I believe it was the New Year's MT Festival. Was he not an MT Festival? I thought he was an MT Festival card. Was he not? Maybe I'm tripping. I don't remember at this point where that card came. Was he Winter? Oh, he was Winter Festival, wasn't he? Okay, so he's Winter Festival, not like the Black Friday content. But Tim Thomas has not gotten a good card this year. He is a MyTEAM legend, obviously, after 2K23, and even last year he was great. A Dark Matter Tim Thomas with a different jump shot than his Opal or than his Pink Diamond would be an amazing card, and that's a guy who definitely makes a lot of sense to me as like a no-brainer Dark Matter wing who is absolutely due for a card and would be potentially a really good one with a different jump shot. So that's another interesting name to me for sure, is a Dark Matter Tim Thomas. The 100 overall prediction that I have, though, and this should come as no surprise to anybody, Luka Doncic. He's due. He's beyond due. Similarly to Booker, hasn't gotten a card in an extremely long time, since the top of the class drop, second week of season 2. That was what, October? Maybe early November. I think October. Like, it's been a long time since we've gotten a Luka card. He is obviously now a Laker. He's a huge pack seller. I guarantee that. He's always been a pack seller, but he would especially be a pack seller now as a 100 overall with his new team in a Lakers jersey on his card. It would make sense. It'd make a lot of sense. He's the one to me that feels like a bit of a no-brainer. Like I would be surprised if we don't get Luka within the next couple weeks, and I'm honestly going to continue to predict him until we do, because he is one of those guys who's just bound to be an elite level card. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it, in my opinion. So we definitely would be really interested in a Luka Doncic card. And I mean, obviously he'd be a beast. Like, how good would he really be? I think it's debatable. But if his chain animations were changed properly, they changed the jump shot like MJ, 100 overall MJ or 100 overall Luka would be right there with MJ as the best point guard in the game, probably 6'7". Obviously 100 overall would be insane defensively and offensively and all that. Like, as a whole, that's a card who would be extremely good. So be interested to see if that is a card that we do wind up getting here sometime in the near future. And I mean, I hope we do, but to be fair, 100 overall Luka is going to be like 4 million MT, and I'm not gonna be able to get him anyway. So even if he is there, and even if he is really good, I still won't be able to get the card, which would be a shame, but it is what it is. Either way, those are my predictions for this weekend's content. Let me know what y'all are thinking and who you think we're going to get in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.